Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here. Thank you for joining me today. As always, please remember to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you're kept abreast of all content as it posts. I wanted to discuss two things that I've seen come up today, and both of them really need to get more exposure in the actual media.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you.
That first video you just saw is Senator Schumer, Democrat from New York, quite literally threatening two Supreme Court justices that he wants to force to vote as the Democrats demand on Roe v. Wade. The problem is he's breaking federal law doing it. Now, much like Donna Brazile has done all day Wednesday and giving her weak pretend apology for telling a Republican to go to hell on national TV, Schumer is going to spin this as it was a metaphor, it was a figure of speech, it was not a threat, but it is. And that's the problem that we have with the media and Democrats today. Holder can say when they go low, we kick them. Hillary can say, we'll be civil when we win. Waters can push someone in the House of Representatives building or tell her people to get in their faces and push back, let them know they're not welcome anywhere. And now Senator Schumer can openly threaten two Supreme Court justices. And this is all to do with abortion.
Jane Roe's story was a terrible one. She said she had been gang raped, gotten pregnant, was desperate to get an abortion. That's what everyone believed as long as Jane Roe remained anonymous. When she went public, she told a different story.
You were raped while you were in Georgia?
No, I wasn't.
You were not?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, so all those stories that are in the books and so forth are not true?
Yes, sir. Yes.
They're not true.
Right.
And it turned out that lying wasn't the only embarrassment this darling of the pro-choice forces presented. In her personal treatise published last year, Norma McCorvey told the story of her somewhat sordid life. Then she still adamantly supported abortion. Now she adds that to the list of sins she took with her into the baptismal pool.
I've cheated people out of money. I've sold drugs. I was an abusive alcoholic for, many, many years. I've done a lot against his teachings. But I think the far greater sin that I did was to be the plaintiff in Roe versus Wade.
That video you just saw is Norma McCorvey, Jane Roe of Roe versus Wade fame. And she eventually came forward and admitted that she lied, that she was pressured and used by the attorneys representing her to basically force a precedent that says abortion is a right. It's not. Healthcare is not a right. Doctors, thankfully, understand and believe that they have sworn to do no harm. And refusing medical care to someone who needs it would do harm. They are providing a service, and you have no right to make someone provide a service to you for free. Even prisoners who are trustees and working get compensated for their service, either by being paid for their work or receiving a shorter sentence. But for Democrats, we need to force the healthcare industry to work for nothing. And we need to do that. What we need to do that is to codify in law that certain things are a right. And now Norma McCorvey, for the last 16 years, has been working tirelessly to end the whole right to an abortion. Roe v. Wade was predicated on two basic statements: that Roe was raped, or gang raped as they claim, and that she absolutely had to have an abortion. And Roe v. Wade ultimately set a precedent that abortion is a right. Now, if you flash forward the 40-odd years, you'll find that the vast majority of medical doctors will not perform abortions because it does harm. So they had to codify this to set up Planned Parenthood. brainchild of a woman who was extremely racist. And now, 40 years later, they are a multi-million-dollar company that is paid by the Democrats and other taxpayer funds and other funds to run abortion clinics. They masquerade as health care for women, and they say they provide other services, but they don't. They simply refer you to get other services. Stories have come out where women are pressured to have abortions when they go to a Planned Parenthood clinic. All of those things, though, are hidden by the media and the Democrats because in order to keep abortion on the books, they have to hide the true facts. And now they openly threaten Supreme Court justices to intimidate them into ruling a certain way. And this needs to stop. Imagine had this happened on a Second Amendment case, and someone said this in regards to any of the liberal justices. That person would have been in Fort Leavenworth, military or not, in the deepest, darkest hole they could find. And they would be citing the same U.S. laws that Senator Schumer broke when he threatened Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. But liberals are not afraid of this because they have the swamp behind them, and they have protection. Until the last few years, they've been very cagey about it. They have caged their argument of, you seem to have a bias towards this precedent, so would you recuse yourself from ruling on it? Every human being on the planet above the age of roughly 4 or 5 has biases. By the time you're in your adult years, you have many biases. I have a bias towards Dr. Pepper over Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Now, if I were a judge and asked to rule in a case where Coca-Cola was suing Dr. Pepper for corporate espionage or trade right infringement, copyright infringement, and the case clearly stated that Coca-Cola was right, I would not let my bias that I prefer the taste of Dr. Pepper over Coca-Cola in any way sway me. It's human to have biases. And if you are a judge, you rule outside of your biases. If you're an attorney, you're supposed to argue outside them. And liberals seem to hold conservatives to such a harsh standard that they really are all but openly saying, you're a conservative, you can't be a judge. I remember in 2000, after George W. Bush won the election, there were people who actually said, who will keep an eye on him? When he started to talk about who he would appoint to his cabinet. There were actual calls from some liberal groups and some other high-profile liberals to appoint members to his cabinet to, and I quote, rein him in. Bill Clinton and Barack Obama were praised for virtually everything they did. Barack Obama came into office in 2009 and cleared house. George W. Bush holdovers, gone. Every ambassador George W. Bush appointed, gone. But now that Donald Trump is in office, he is supposedly required to keep all of these holdovers that are openly working to destroy him. Anyone he is able to appoint and get confirmed is to recuse themselves from any case the Democrats want them recused from. And when they are not obeyed, they resort to threats. And this is ultimately, I hope, going to be their downfall. I have never hidden my faith. I have never hidden my beliefs, and I never will. As a Christian, I believe that at the end of days, all people will be judged after the end of the millennial kingdom of Christ on earth. And you will have two groups, those allowed into paradise and those not, those sent to hell. Only at the end of the millennial kingdom and after the great white throne judgment, when those people who are allowed into paradise are, and those who are sent to hell are, will we ever see true agreement by everyone in a place. Everyone in hell will be in agony and hate God more than they ever did. Everyone in paradise will worship and live in peace and harmony. You'll never get that anywhere else. Even among my friends who believe as I do, we disagree. But we can disagree civilly. We can debate. We can go have the back and forth and have that learning experience. But this is not allowed by liberals because they know they have no facts to back up their arguments. It's why you see people resort to threats, insults, and worse. And it needs to stop. But I've talked long enough. Let me know what you think. But as always, keep it civil. I do want you to go on and subscribe to the channel and like the video. Turn on notifications so that you're kept abreast of all content as it posts. As I said in a video yesterday, I will be doing a giveaway at 500 subscribers of either a copy of 1984 by George Orwell or Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. At 1,000 subscribers, you'll get both. The winner will get both. I'm thinking about others to celebrate higher thresholds, but those will come when they come. Until next time, have a wonderful day.